Well, Conrad Reynolds ran for the U.S. Senate in 2010. He ran for the U.S. House of Representatives, 2nd Congressional District in 2014 against the incumbent, Congressman French Hill, who was a guest on our show last week. I caught up with Conrad Reynolds to find out why he thinks that 2022 is his year with voters. I scoured your website. You talk about making Arkansas great again. There have been 8 years of Republican dominance in Arkansas politics from the state level, Congress,
Sure,
majorities in the legislature, tax cuts, some conservative government, unlike we've seen. What's not great about Arkansas that you need to make great again?
well, there's a lot of things. Arkansas is great. I love Arkansas. I always have. I was born here. I grew up here. My dad was a state policeman here, and I love it. But we need to get rid of some rhinos. That's why I've got the rhino badge right here, trying to get rid of the rhinos that we have currently in office. I think we need to change, Roby. And I think the people that I've talked to anyway over the last couple of weeks, more than that, almost a month, have told me they're sick and tired of what they see in Washington, D.C., and they're tired of our representatives not representing them. So that's what I mean by make Arkansas great again.
So you think it will be different this time around because there is less patience for the Republicans that are in office?
Oh, you wouldn't believe the frustration. I mean, nothing against Mr. Hill. He's had 8 years to try to show what he can do. And I think that he's proven over time and time again that when the hard votes came up, he turned his back on the people of Arkansas. The January 6th commission, he voted with 35 Republicans against everybody in the 2nd district here to have a January 6th commission, which turned into the committee. He voted with Pelosi and with Liz Cheney. I think Liz Cheney coming down here and campaigning for him tells us everything we need to know about Mr. Hill and the fact that he probably needs to go. I appreciate his 8 years, I really do, but it's time to have a change. We've got to have fighters in Washington, D.C., and that's what I intend to do when I go there.
So you've not seen anything come out of the January 6th committee that concerns you? You think that everything that's been done there, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
You're talking about the memos?
I'm talking about the memos. I'm talking about any of the evidence that has kind of come out as a result of that. Is there anything?
Well, I like to see them interview Ray Epps. I mean, I like to see them get down to the bottom of those kinds of things. Why is the FBI not allowing Mr. Epps to talk? It appears that way. So I would like to get to the bottom of exactly what happened on January 6th. But I think that this witch hunt that they've got going on right now, no, it's not going to get to the bottom of anything other than trying to go after Trump and the people that have supported Trump. I read the censure, I'm sure you did, and the censure was very clear that Liz and Adam Kinzinger have gone against the Republican Party. And that's why they've pulled all support for them. And I think that was warranted, and I support that.
The other controversial statement in that censure that the RNC put out there basically legitimized the political discourse was the phraseology that was in there. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I read that. I think that you're probably reading a little bit more. Most of them, all the ones I've heard, if they broke the law, they need to go to jail. Absolutely. If they did things that were wrong, yes, they need to go to jail. But there were thousands and thousands of people that didn't do anything wrong. And yet we're lumping them all in together as insurrectionists. And that's what people have a problem with. I've talked to a lot of people who went up there. My son is a DC cop. He's a policeman there. He told me, Dad, the vast majority of those people were fine. But yeah, there were some people that were there to cause some problems. And those people need to be punished. They need to be prosecuted without question. And I don't think anybody is arguing that point.
Fair point. One of the big issues of the day that you would be dealing with if you were in the U.S. Congress now, it is likely you could be dealing with that if you were to win later this year, is the Russian-Ukraine situation. I'm not looking for criticism of left, right, or center on this. I'm asking what would you be advocating right now as the U.S. position on Russia and Ukraine?
Well, that's a big question. I don't have, and I'm not privy to the classified intelligence that involves what we know or what we don't know. From the surface, from where I'm sitting right now, I don't think that we need to be going to war with Russia over the Ukraine, but I think that we do need to continue to support Ukraine. They want to join NATO. They would love to come and be part of the freedom-loving nations, and I encourage that, and I would like to do that. In fact, I think it's since the year 2000 we've had over 14 countries join NATO, and I think the Russians are probably a little bit scared about that. But think about this: they never brought this up when Trump was in office. I mean, they could have, but they didn't bring this up when Trump was there. They brought it up when they think that we're weak, when we have a weak president and we have a weak Congress that is not doing the things that they should. And so, unfortunately, we're forced now to have to deal with a situation that I don't think that we would have had under Trump. What we're going to do ultimately, I don't know, but I don't think that it's worth one American life right now to intervene. And I think the sanctions, cutting off the Nord Stream 2, I think is and all the sanctions that could be applied, I think probably will be enough. I hope it is, to keep Putin from doing something very stupid. But we know when they think that we're weak, when Obama was there and he knew that they wouldn't do anything, they took Crimea. That's why we must have a strong military and we must have a strong president. And so that's why I will support whoever the presidential nominee is that's a Republican, whether it's President Trump or DeSantis, whoever it is. We've got to have a strong Congress that will have their back when they come into office in 2025.
I noticed this week Sarah Huckabee Sanders has endorsed your opponent, Congressman French Hill.
Right.
You called that a, quote, big mistake.
It was a big mistake in our eyes, but you know what? I don't blame Sarah. I mean, they've been family friends. French is, I think her husband, Sarah's husband, worked for French. Look, I don't have any problem with trying to support your friends. I understand that. I give her a pass on that. But you know what? I'll one up her. I was endorsed by this guy here, General Flynn, who I respect deeply, a 33-year combat veteran, a man I served with in Iraq. So I'll up in General Flynn. We'll see. But no, I don't have a problem with what Sarah helping a friend. I don't.
Do you still support Sanders for governor of Arkansas?
I support whoever the people have elected will elect in the primary, whoever that is. I will support them vigorously because I think we need a Republican governor without question. And I just don't want people getting involved in primaries. I just don't think that that's the right thing to do. I think that we should let the people decide. And when people get in and endorse each other or put their finger on the scale, trying to use their popularity in elected office or trying to be in elected office to sway the vote, I just don't really kind of like that.
Well, you got General Flynn supporting yours, isn't he?
He's not running for office. Right. He's not running for office, and he's not in a political office.
I got you.
Big deal, big difference.
All right. You also said on your Twitter feed you support Trump for Speaker of the House in 2020.
Oh, I do. Wouldn't that be great?
Well, why would you support him for Speaker? And is he the only choice for you for 2020?
Well, of course we say that. I don't think that President Trump is ever going to run for Speaker, but I just think it would be a good thing. I want a really conservative Speaker of the House, and I don't know that the current Speaker is going to be that. He may be. I mean, if McCarthy, when if he gets that, but I would like a Jim Jordan. I would like somebody from the Freedom Caucus to be the Speaker. I think the Freedom Caucus is the anchor that keeps the Republican ship, from veering too far left. In fact, none of our congressmen in the state of Arkansas, this is for your viewers, none of our congressmen are in the Freedom Caucus. And it's the most conservative caucus in Congress. So I'm telling you right now that I will be the first congressman from Arkansas in the Freedom Caucus, because I think it's important that we have extremely conservative views in Congress, and that's what I intend to do.